Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video, and yes, in celebration of Doctor Who's 60th anniversary, I'm bringing to you a couple of reviews on past Doctor Who anniversary specials, starting with the 30th Doctor Who anniversary special from 1993 called Doctor Who Dimensions in Time. Yes. And just a little backstory. The classic era of Doctor Who, that of course started with the first Doctor and ended with the seventh Doctor. Yeah, because sadly and unfortunately and ultimately, Doctor Who got canceled in the late 1980s, but that's not to say Doctor Who would, go away forever, because, throughout most of the 1990s, there would be some Doctor Who materials, like, most notably in 1996, the Doctor Who movie, where the seventh Doctor would regenerate to the eighth Doctor, and that being Paul McGann. However, in 1993, and on the year Doctor Who was celebrating its anniversary, Children in Need would bring us a Doctor Who anniversary special, which being Dimensions in Time. And yeah, I gotta say, I think Doctor Who Dimensions in Time is pretty entertaining and not bad. And I think if I recall, I remember reading an article or something where Dimensions in Time is now considered canon. I have no problem with that. I mean, for me being a Whovian, it's... If they consider it canon, okay then. I mean, honestly, something like this, of course, it could, why wouldn't it be canon? And besides, the many times, especially whenever Doctor Who has celebrated its anniversary, sometimes, the current Doctor would, encounter his previous, incarnations, his cells, as they say it, in Dimensions in Time, yeah. And I also recall in The Five Doctors, when the first Doctor meets the fifth Doctor, it's brought up that, one of the companions, says that, you two shouldn't meet, shouldn't be together, but something like this would only happen in a matter of urgency, and I think, the fifth Doctor said that it would happen once every 10 years. Pretty much. But, yeah, so, with that being said, as always, I'll read the description / the story. The Rani hatches a scheme to trap the incarnations of the Doctor and their various companions in a 20-year time loop in Albert Square. Okay, so Dimensions in Time was a two-parter, and it aired, of course, this month in 1993 on November 26th. Part 1 aired on November 26th, and Part 2 aired the next day on November 27th. And when Part 1 was shown, John Perrowett made an appearance, and this aired on House Party. I don't really know that much on House Party. Obviously, some program on BBC and hosted by a guy named Noel, because, I'm looking at it, because Noel's House Party. Okay, so I guess that's the title. But bear with me, I don't know. I don't even think some of you guys would know what Noel's House Party is. But it was funny, because, because John Perrowett appearing on Noel's House Party as the Doctor, and, because, he mentioned to Noel that, he went to 2013, and apparently Noel was, still on TV and so on. So it was pretty funny. And, because basically for, Noel, who's the host of Noel's House Party, both him, John Perrowett, and the audience, they put on 3D glasses because part of this anniversary special is in 3D. I don't know, but, I mean, heck, because, Dimensions in Time is available on YouTube, so obviously you don't have to have 3D glasses, but maybe it's for the opening titles, because, yeah, we get the opening titles, And I guess there's that, but I don't know. But anyways. Okay, so with the Doctors themselves in Dimensions in Time, and at the time in 1993, the 5 current actors who have portrayed the Doctor: the late John Perrowit, Tom Baker, Peter Davidson, Colin Baker, and Sylvester McCoy. And yeah, I mean, with the exceptions of the late William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton, and unfortunately Patrick Troughton, who passed away a couple of years ago before Dimensions in Time. And the fact is, Patrick Troughton was still planning to continue on appearing in Doctor Who specials and so on, and whenever needed to reprise the role of the second Doctor. But yeah, it was unfortunate for Patrick Troughton, And so basically, the previous 2 incarnations of the Doctor, the first 2 incarnations, I should say, the cells of the Doctor, they've been trapped in a time loop, and by the cause of one of the Doctor's arch enemies, Ronnie, the Ronnie, that is, played by the late Kate O'Mara. And by the way, this being Kate O'Mara's final on-screen performance as the Ronnie. She would go on to reprise the role of Ronnie in a audio adventure, because, Doctor Who has had, even as of now, Doctor Who having a lot of audio adventures, and with, the previous actors who have played the Doctor coming back to reprise their roles for the radio adventures, yeah. And unfortunately, later on, years later, sadly, Kate O'Mara would pass away, and pretty much that being the end of the character of Ronnie. Because, let's face it, because obviously, Kate O'Mara was the Ronnie. So yeah. So the Ronnie up to her old tricks, and basically she causes a time loop, and messing up with the space-time continuum. And yeah, because we first get the appearance of the 7th Doctor, once again played by Sylvester McCoy, and his current companion, Ace, once again played by Sophie Aldred. Yeah, I think I got her last name right. So yeah, starting with the 7th Doctor, and then, because again, the Ronnie hatching a scheme trap, with the incarnations of the Doctor, as I read, and, read the description story, and, throughout Dimensions in Time, sometimes, a flash of lightning strikes or whatever, and, a different Doctor would be here and there, and same goes for the companions, random companions being with some of the Doctors that they were with, but some that they weren't with. You know what I'm saying? Ace at one point is with the 6th Doctor, Susan is with the 6th Doctor as well, and it was pretty funny because with Susan at one point being with, the 6th Doctor, and Susan once again being played by, where was she? Because as always, I've got the tablet. Yeah, here she is. I got the tablet and also have IMDb up. Susan Foreman, the Doctor's granddaughter, and she was with the 1st Doctor, William Hartnell, that is, and once again played by Carol Ann Ford, because Susan is with the 6th Doctor at one point, and, she's like, oh no, you're nothing like my grandfather, but she should be aware that, she should have been aware, of course, that, at some point, that her grandfather would regenerate, and the fact that, yeah, Susan is a Time Lord, I assume, right? Because I really have forgotten a good chunk of, with Susan and her being a Time Lord or human. I'm just saying, because, them being the last Time Lords to have survived and so on, and when the Time War happened. So you just, please bear with me, okay? Other companions that return for Dimensions in Time are Perry Brown, once again played by Nicola Bryant, the Brigadier, once again played by the late Nicholas Courtney, yeah. Sarah Jane Smith, once again played by the late Elizabeth Sladen. There's also, let me see, yeah, Phil Mitchell, played by Steve McFadden, Frank Butcher, played by Mike Raid, Pauline Fowler, played by Wendy Richard, Nisa, played by Sarah Sutton, Victoria Waterfield, played by Deborah Waitlin. I hope I'm saying that right. Some of their names right. You know me, as always. Pat Butcher, played by Pam S.T. Clement. Yeah, and also, the Ronnie, because she has her very own TARDIS, and she, inside her TARDIS has a couple of, enemies of the Doctor, most notably, a Cyberman, and there's also, a Sea Devil, and, yeah, and also there's no Daleks, no Sontarans, in Dimensions in Time. You would expect, big enemies like the Daleks and the Sontarans to be in this, but no, and it works fine without them, so, and, I mean, most of the time, because most notably the Daleks have appeared in a lot of the Doctor Who anniversary specials, most notably the Five Doctors and the Day of the Doctor. So yeah, the Daleks being a huge part of Doctor Who. Obvious, yeah. So again, from time to time in Dimensions in Time, a Doctor, a Doctor popping up and so on, and again the companions being with the Doctor that they were with, but one of the Doctors that they weren't with. Yeah, because a good example, Ace and Susan being with the Sixth Doctor at one point, yeah, a companion of the Seventh Doctor's who was with, Melaine Bush. Yeah, because I almost forgot her. Melaine Bush, once again played by Bonnie Landford. She, at one point, was with the Third Doctor. And, of course, you had Sarah with the Third Doctor at one point. And also, there's not that much with Tom Baker as the Fourth Doctor. He's just there at the beginning, and we get one more appearance of him because, there's a moment where the Seventh Doctor is trying to, be undermined with, to, what's the word I'm looking for? One with another, all, linking their minds all together with his previous incarnations. So yeah, we get one more shot of Tom Baker, and the fact that he wasn't there, to join with the other with the companions and so on. I mean, I guess maybe that wasn't in Tom Baker's nature. I do recall reading something about that, and not to mention, with him not coming back for the Five Doctors and how he, didn't want to be on screen with the other fellow Doctor Who actors. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I'm sure you would have you probably heard about that too as well. So at a certain point in part 1, all the Doctor incarnations / the cells of the Doctor and the companions start to figure out what's going on, and Ronnie, she realizes that they're slowly but surely figuring this out, and of course she's going to stop at nothing to, take on the Doctor and so on. And by the way, because, yeah, Tom Baker's the Fourth Doctor, because he sent out a distress call / message to, his other incarnations / cells about, warning them about Ronnie and so on, and, to stop her, and the fact that, he mentioned that, she hates me. She even hates children. Since what has the children done to Ronnie? Or she just doesn't like children at all? Oh well. I mean, hence children in need, I guess, because children in need, Doctor Who, but anyways. So, yeah, and at one point, because, again, with the Doctors, changing faces, popping up and so on because of the time loop, and taking on some of the monsters, and them being, in different decades and years because of the number 3, 1973, 1993, and 2013. And again, because, taking on the Ronnie, and with the Third Doctor, almost about to take on the Ronnie and so on, and the companion that was with the Third Doctor, trying to stop the Ronnie. And at one point, a Unit soldier steps in to pick up and save the Third Doctor, driving in Bessie. You know, if you recall, because the Third Doctor drove a yellow car named Bessie, and making their way, and yeah, the Third Doctor is reunited with the Brigadier, and then, you know, because of the time loop, we then see the Sixth Doctor, and, you know, because again, like, with the Sixth Doctor, the Fifth Doctor, and not that much for the Seventh Doctor. Like, from beginning to end, like, we see the Seventh Doctor at the beginning, and then at the very end, he's there to, you know, to defeat and take on the Ronnie, because, you know, at one point, using the TARDIS and to basically mess up her, you know, very own TARDIS, and to, you know, to stop the time loop and to free his first two incarnations / selves, which of course being the First and Second Doctor, free them from the time loop and so on, from, you know, what Ronnie's doing. And with the aid of K9, yeah, because of course, you know, we have K9 in this, and once again voiced by John Leeson, yeah, I got that right. And that's pretty cool because, you know, to see K9, you know, interacting with and helping out the Seventh Doctor and Ace, because, yeah, Ace once again showing up again. And, you know, they defeat Ronnie once and for all, and yeah, she's been defeated and everything is fixed and so on. And, of course, with the help of all the other incarnations of the Doctor, because, again, the Seventh Doctor just, you know, join me, you know, with, you know, one mind to another, stuff like that, you know. And besides, like, that has happened before in some of the Doctor Who anniversary specials, like the 3 Doctors and the 5 Doctors, they all join together with their minds and so on. Yeah, pretty cool. So again, the Ronnie is defeated and all ends well and everything is restored and no more time loops and different incarnations of the Doctor popping up and so on, and the same goes for the companions. Yeah. Yeah, a good way to end the anniversary special right there. Of course, you know, a Doctor Who anniversary special has to have a good and happy ending. Also, one more thing I'd like to point out, that when part 1, you know, finished and before Noel's house party wrapped up, Noel, who's the host of Noel's house party, basically had the viewers at home basically call in, like it's like a contest or something of who will help the Doctor, and 2 people, Mandy and Big Ron, like, who, you know, which one of these 2 will help the Doctor in part 2 of Dimensions in Time, and, you know, telling the viewers to call, you know, and bet who will save the Doctor and place their bets and so on, and, you know, those who, like, you know, place their bets on Mandy or Big Ron, you know, each one of them, if one of them would win and save the Doctor, then those who chose them would win. Like, I get what it's supposed to be, and I'm sure you do too, the best I can explain, and the one who won and, you know, to help the Doctor is Mandy. So, yeah, I just thought I threw that out because, I don't know, it was pretty interesting, and I didn't want to leave it out, so. Doctor Who Dimensions in Time is a pretty good and entertaining Doctor Who anniversary special. Well, and, you know, for it being the 30th anniversary special, it's nice to see all of the 5 Doctors, from the late John Perrowit to Sylvester McCoy, you know, being in this anniversary special, and for the first time in a while, to see Tom Baker reprise his iconic role as the 4th Doctor since, well, his last appearance in the final season and the final 4-part, you know, episode arc of that he was in as the 4th Doctor until, you know, Peter Davison stepped in as the 5th Doctor. And, you know, again, the fact that Tom Baker declined to come, like, he refused to come back to be in the 5 Doctors, yeah, it's a shame. But it was nice to see him back again in the 4th Doctor gear and making a small appearance. It's a shame, because again, it's a shame he wasn't in it for the whole adventure of Dimensions in Time, you know what I'm saying? But it's just how it turned out, and I'm sure it's just what Tom Baker wanted to do. That's all, so yeah. And to see all of the companions, and some of them interacting with other incarnations of the Doctor that they did not go on adventures with. So yeah, and to see some familiar faces that the Doctor has faced off against, you know, his enemies from the Ronnie, a Cyberman, a Sea Devil, and seeing Kanon once again. Yeah, just everything about Dimensions in Time was pretty good. And I give Doctor Who Dimensions in Time, 8 out of 10 stars. Yes, 8 out of 10 stars for Doctor Who Dimensions in Time. And what about you guys? What did you think of the 30th anniversary special of Doctor Who, Dimensions in Time itself? And, you know, if any of you had seen this, most notably online and most notably on YouTube, because, again, it is on YouTube, and if any of you Whovians want to go check it out, what did you think of my review? Leave comments, and give this review video a like, as always. So, with all that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of the 30th anniversary special of Doctor Who, Dimensions in Time. More review videos are on the way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video / review. And stay tuned later tonight, because the next Doctor Who anniversary special I'm going to be reviewing, well, I think it's obvious, but also, you know, the fact that there was no Doctor Who anniversary special, like, in 2003. From what I looked, I think there was some, like, documentary or something about Doctor Who. That's all. But however, in 2013, Doctor Who would make a triumphant return with an anniversary special of theirs titled The Day of the Doctor. Stay tuned for that. Take care, peace out, and I know Z.